Yo, what up guys, this is MtgGalaxy here with a Arcades the Strategist EDH deck tech. If you didn't know, Arcades the Strategist is a 4 casting cost, 1 colorless, 1 band, which is a green, a white, and a blue, for a 3/5 Elder Dragon with flying and vigilance. And he has 2 walls of text. Whenever a creature with Defender enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. And each creature you control with Defender assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power and can attack as though it didn't have Defender. So, obviously for this we will be building quote-unquote Defender Tribal. This is where we have a lot of defenders as our main way of attacking and getting people down. We also have some nice utility creatures that we can use to get our defenders through, as well as we have some nice instant speed removal, sorcery speed, one-sided board wipes most of the time, and of course we have ramp, artifacts, enchantments, and a nice mana base. Real quickly, before the deck list starts, I just want to give a quick disclaimer. This is not the most expensive deck. It is my deck that I have, and the mana base is really budget, and some of the cards that should be on here, they probably aren't, because I needed to finish up this deck really quickly before Grand Prix Sacramento, which I'll be doing a vlog on that'll be uploading soon, and I needed to have this deck finished before then, and 3 of the cards that I wanted on here that were pretty cheap, I couldn't get to me in time. So, let's start off with the defenders. First of all, we have our basic Defender Wall of Denial. It's a 3 casting cost, 0/8, Defender, Flying, and Shroud. Everything that we want. Big body. With Arcades, it can basically be an 8/8 Defender, Flying, Shroud, which is very good. Some of our other standard defenders are Axebane Guardian and Overgrown Battlement. These are 2 very good ramping defenders. Axebane Guardian, 3 mana, 0/3 defender. And you can tap it to add X mana in any combination of colors to your mana pool, where X is the number of creatures with Defender you control. This can get out of hand very fast, as you'll often have 6 or 7 defenders on the battlefield at a time, and it goes really well with another card that we'll be talking about later. We also have Overgrown Battlement, which is the same thing for 1 less, but can only add green to your mana pool. Another pretty cool defender is Geist of Archives, which is a 3 casting cost, 0/4 defender, and at the beginning of your upkeep, scry 1. This is a very cool defender to have. You also have Mnemonic Wall, which is a 5 casting cost, 0/4 defender, but when it enters the battlefield, return a target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand. This could be one of the board wipes that you used, or just any utility thing like that. Our other defenders are Suspicious Bookcase to make things unblockable, Carven Caryatid, because if you have a Carven Caryatid as well as some of the other cards we'll be talking about, you can sometimes draw up to 4 cards off of 1 creature. We also have Dazzling Ramparts, a nice tapper, Fortified Rampart, just a cheap, efficient creature. Hover Barrier for another efficient creature. Jeskai Barricade if we want to return anything to our hand to save it. Steel Wall and Angelic Wall, 2 nice early drops. We also have Wall of Air, Wall of Blossoms, Wall of Frost, and Wall of Mulch. These are all very good cards. Wall of Mulch is great because if we swing all out with our defenders and they block some and kill them, we can just pay a green and sack all those and just draw cards off of them. We also have Amaranthine Wall, Crenellated Wall, and Jungle Barrier. Amaranthine Wall is a very nice one that we can make indestructible if we have to. Crenellated Wall gives essentially our other defenders +4/+4 for just tapping it. Jungle Barrier, one of the other ones, nice defender, draws us a card. We also have Orator of Ojutai. This essentially will draw us a card when it comes out, in addition to the cards drawn by Arcades and any other thing we can, because it says if you have a dragon in play, draw a card, and Arcades is actually a dragon. Next, we have our utility creatures. Tetsuko Umezawa, Fugitive, Mentor of the Meek, Abzan Beastmaster, Protean Hulk, and Karmic Guide. Tetsuko Umezawa is an all-star here. 2 mana, 1/3, creatures you control with power or toughness 1 or less can't be blocked. The majority of the creatures in the deck, with the exception of Arcades and maybe one other creature, has 0 power, and therefore it cannot be blocked. This is a great way to get combat damage in to finish off the opponent. Mentor is there to pretty much pay 1 mana after we play a defender, draw another card in addition to Arcades. Abzan Beastmaster normally will have the highest toughness, so we'll draw a card during our upkeep. Protean Hulk and Karmic Guide are just 2 value creatures that we get value from. Karmic Guide, we can bring anything back if our opponent board wipes, and Protean Hulk, normally what you'll want to get from Protean Hulk is Tetsuko Umezawa, Steel Wall, and the Axebane Guardian. It's fine if you only get Tetsuko and Axebane Guardian, but if you already have one of the 2, you might want to go consider getting something else. Now, for instance, we have a few cards. We have card advantage, counterspells, and removal. Card advantage, we only have one card, that's Fact or Fiction. Great card. You can hopefully bribe one of the other players at the table to give you some good stuff. For counterspells, we have Counterspell, obviously, Negate, Swan Song, and I'm going to count Heroic Intervention as one. Counterspell, Negate, Swan Song, great cards. Heroic Intervention, fantastic. I'm counting this as a counterspell because if the opponent board wipes or something like that, bounces your whole board, I mean, I guess that wouldn't really count. But you can just give everything hexproof and indestructible for only 2 mana. Such a good card. All our removal we have Azorius Charm. Most of the time we'll be bouncing stuff to the top of the library. Beast Within, Swords to Plowshares, great removal. Bant Charm, mostly we'll be using put target creature on the bottom of its owner's library. We have Reality Shift, which is great. 2 mana, just exile something. I don't care if they get a 2/2 that they can flip up later. It's just fantastic. We have some artifact removal in here, or enchantment. Nature's Claim, Traverse Charm, and Curse and Grip. These are all very good. Next, we have our sorceries. We have 6 board wipes in the deck. They are Tragic Arrogance, Fell the Mighty, Wave of Reckoning, Slaughter the Strong, Washout, and Dusk to Dawn. Washout, I wouldn't really call a board wipe, but it's useful. Tragic Arrogance is just in there, honestly, because I like it and it's fun. We also have our 0-based board wipes, which are Fell the Mighty, Wave of Reckoning, and Slaughter the Strong, and Dusk to Dawn. These all look at the power of your creatures, and they kill them if they have a higher power, but they don't if they have low power. Especially Wave of Reckoning and Fell the Mighty. These are great, and they kill any even toughness, even 4/4, 5/5, anything that has an even power or toughness, and it leaves our creatures standing and hopefully going into attack. Same with Dusk to Dawn. You can also, with the Dawn, get an insane amount of value, getting up to 10 creatures from your graveyard back to your hand, because as we said before, most of them will have power 2 or less. Now we have just a couple ramp, because of course we're in green. Farseek and Cultivate. Great early game plays, great for getting your mana out there, not much to say there. Next we have the artifacts. Some great cards from this are Lifecrafter's Bestiary, Paradox Engine, Meekstone. These are fantastic. Lifecrafter's Bestiary. Whenever you cast a creature spell, you may pay green if you do draw a card. That's what we're really looking at. The Beginning of Upkeep Scry is also pretty good. So what you can do with this, if you have an Arcades out, Mentor of the Meek, Lifecrafter's Bestiary. You can play, for example, Orator of Ojutai. 2 mana, pay a green for the Bestiary, pay a colorless for Mentor of the Meek. And then draw 4 cards. 1 off Arcades, 1 off of Lifecrafters, 1 off of the Orator Entering, and 1 off the Mentor of the Meek. That's 4 cards for 4 mana, plus a 0/4 flying to boot. That's pretty good. We have Paradox Engine, because even though this is a little bit out of some people's budget, I had it in my collection, and it is just amazing with all the tapping creatures we have, like Axebane Guardian and Overgrown Battlement. We can essentially start generating so much mana, because we can tap that, play a defender, draw a bunch of cards, and then use those defenders to cast and untap with the Paradox Engine. Meekstone's an all-star here. 1 mana, essentially all of your creatures get to untap, because this one includes Arcades, but that doesn't matter because he has Vigilance. But essentially anything we play can untap. Alright, and our other artifacts we have are ramping ones. Soul Ring, Selesnya Signet, Simic Signet, Azorius Signet. Nice ramping cards, of course, Commander deck, so we have to have Soul Ring. We have Swiftfoot Boots as well to protect our commander. A new card from 19 we have is Chaos Wand. This artifact lets you pay mana and exile the top cards of your opponent's library until you get an instant or sorcery spell, and you can cast it without paying its mana cost. That's sweet, especially if you hit something like Time Stretch. That's a great target for this. As well as any just removal spell you can play on the creature. That feels really, really good. For our enchantments, we have Assault Formation, Brave the Sands, and Guardian Zendikon. Assault Formation, 2 mana, each creature you control assigns combat damage to equal to its toughness rather than its power. Pay a green for a creature with Defender can attack this turn as it didn't have Defender. And pay 3 to win a green for creatures you control get +0/+1 until end of turn. That last ability is pretty sweet. It can fire breathe our entire team, essentially, for 3 mana. But this is mainly in here because it's our backup if we know someone's just going to kill Arcades when he comes out, or we can't play Arcades at the very moment. This is a really great backup for that. Brave the Sands, great. Vigilance, that's pretty good, but the main thing we're looking here, since our creatures have massive toughness, we can use them to block multiple creatures each combat. Guardian Zendikon, 3 mana, turns your a land you don't need into a 2/6, great. Now for our mana base. Our lands we have are Seaside Citadel, Bant Panorama, Grasslands, Floodplain, Azorius Chancery, Selesnya Sanctuary, Simic Growth Chamber, those are the 3 bounce lands in our colors. Prairie Stream, Canopy Vista, Yavimaya Coast, Irrigated Farmland, Command Tower, Croissant Verge, Irrigation Ditch, Reliquary Tower, Exotic Orchard, Sungrass Prairie, 8 plains, 8 islands, and 7 forests. I know there is a lot of basics in this, but for being such a cheap mana base, it really works. Prairie Stream, Canopy Vista, you can cut those if you want for some cheaper duels like the Guild Gates, for example. I decided not to have them in here because I don't necessarily need them. My mana base is actually very strangely consistent. I could end up cutting some of the lands because there is a lot of lands in here, but for now it works. Some of the cool lands in here are Grasslands and Floodplain. These are the slow fetches from Mirage, and they're just basically fetch lands but they enter tapped, so you have to wait a turn. A really cool thing, Croissant Verge. What you can do is you can sacrifice the Croissant Verge and you can get the Canopy Vista and the Prairie Stream, so essentially getting 2 duels for sacrificing a land and paying 2 mana. That's pretty great, especially on the end of the opponent's turn. There's really nothing else that's like a standout in here, but something that it was surprisingly cheap to me when I looked in was Sungrass Prairie. Great, fixes your mana. And also Exotic Orchard. If you didn't know, they updated it, so if an opponent has a Vivid land out, because it can tap for any color of mana, then you can tap that land for any color as long as it has a charge counter on it. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. Because they changed the rule, because normally you can only tap within your commander's color identity, but they changed the rule very recently for Exotic Orchard. Another one that I'm surprised was in my budget was Irrigated Farmland, the Amonkhet Plains Island cycling for 2. This was like 70 cents when I got it, and it was surprisingly cheap. Of course, we do have a lot of upgrades for this list. Some cards that I'm going to put in eventually are Stalwart Shield Bearers, Tower Defense, Sunscape Familiar. I couldn't get those in time for making this deck. Some nice upgrades are Path to Exile, obviously, Cyclonic Rift, and Wargate. These are very nice cards that you can add to your collection, and especially they will power up your deck. Wargate is just a nice card. Search your library for a permanent card with CMC X or less, put into play, then shuffle your library. It's a Green Sun Zenith, essentially. Well, that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you for watching this video, and be sure to like, subscribe, and share the video with your friends if you enjoyed. I will be posting the entire deck list for this out in the description, and if you want to copy it, feel free, make some edits, tell me in the comments if I missed any of the cards. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys all in the next video.